All right, Katie, thank you so much. Now, many Louisiana residents will be making insurance claims because of damage that are caused by Hurricane Francine. And we all know those insurance rates are already so high. So many people are worried that they can go even higher. Earlier today, our own Brandon Walker and Brianna Boudreau spoke with Insurance Commissioner Tim Temple to get his response to those concerns.
Yeah, look, first thing I want to remind everybody is, once it's deemed safe to go out, inspect your property, or return to inspect your property, look, document. You can't document too much. Take photos of everything that you suspect has been damaged. Take videos, and make that part of your claims process. It's going to help you start the process and have a better outcome. I can tell you, I've been in conversations with most of the larger property writers in the state. They have pre-positioned claims adjusters. Those folks will be coming in and starting the claims adjusting process as soon as people start filing claims. So, you can never file a claim too early.
Definitely, sir. Thank you for that. And I know that it is early and we're still beginning to get an idea of what this storm means in terms of damage and claims. But at a town hall meeting this month, or a little last month, you had said to residents that we're beginning to see the tide change, in that insurers are interested, you've seen, in returning to Louisiana after some legislative changes that went into effect, some bills that were passed in the session that wrapped this summer. Are you concerned about this weather event hindering that apparent progress?
Look, I can certainly understand why people may think that's an issue, but look, we made the fundamental changes that we needed to help to start to make Louisiana a more attractive state. If any insurance companies that were looking at Louisiana to come in and do business, if they're going to be scared away or concerned with a hurricane on the magnitude of what Francine was, then let's acknowledge those companies weren't going to be here in the long run anyway. Right, so these hurricanes are what insurance companies prepare for. That's what they plan for. And if this is going to set anybody back, then that's probably not a company that we wanted to come in and take our premium to begin with. So we're focused on quality companies that look at Louisiana as an opportunity to come in and write business and pay claims when they're justified. And can this delay the start of that? Maybe a little bit. But again, we made the fundamental changes, and I fully expect that the companies that have expressed interest in Louisiana are going to continue to move forward with that process.
And you said that you know that there has been a process, and as Brandon mentioned, we know some litigation has been passed and some is in the in the works there. You said you're working right now actively to make Louisiana more appealing to these companies. Can you give us some specifics as to what that is? Because of course, as Brandon said, we see a hurricane and we immediately think there goes our chances.
Yeah, look, it was all of the property reform that we passed this past session, with the support of the governor and with the House and the Senate leadership and members getting behind. It was fundamental changes. The way that the Fair Claims Bill that Senator Kirk Talbot, chair of Senate Insurance, to help both sides, but really to help you as a consumer understand when the timeline starts that you can hold an insurance company accountable. We've passed that. We've passed the file and use for rate filing. We made modifications to the 3-year rule, which doesn't take effect. It hasn't taken effect yet, and it won't until into 2025. So we made those fundamental changes to the industry, to the marketplace, so that Louisiana is a state that companies want to come and do business. But look, we need to be focused on this claim, this event, this hurricane. And, I would encourage anybody, if they have questions, they need more information on the actual claims process, they can go to www.ldi.la.gov. There is we launched an application last month called LDI Connect. Download that on your phone. Or your whatever your tablet, you can there's lots of good information that you can find there, and then you can always call at 1-800-259-5300. You can call if you've got questions. We're there to help.
Thank you for that, sir. And real quick, in focusing specifically on this storm, as you mentioned, just trying to get through this event, we've interviewed, of course, residents throughout the area affected by this. In the Lakeview neighborhood of New Orleans, a family was telling us about the water they took on during Ida. They did the repairs, and they're dealing with water this time around. And their point here, and this is what we're getting at, was, you know, they've done everything that they were told to do. They say that they followed the rules. They want to be here. They've got these high rates. They would like to see that change, and you say that, you know, we're working toward hopefully getting that there, but it does take time. But they just feel like they can't really go any longer because, well, they're the fatigue of having to, you know, constantly go through this process. What do you say to them in reassuring them?
Well, look, I mean, I would say that if I'm committed, and my coworkers at the Department of Insurance and the governor and the legislators are all committed to doing what we can from a regulatory and a legislative process to bring companies back so that people have choice again. And with choice will come affordability. When you have companies competing for your business, that's when you see that downward pressure on premiums. But we've also, as you acknowledged, we've got to make sure that we mitigate our homes from future damages, you know, against future damages. The Fortified Roof Program is a good start. You know, I want to encourage as many people as possible to go through the Fortified Roof process. Elevate your homes. If you're in a low-lying area, we need to elevate homes where possible. And I know that's not an option for everybody, but look, I can say that the federal delegation is certainly working to make the flood insurance, the NFIP program, as a, you know, that risk rating 2.0, everybody agrees that has just been a dismal failure. It's pricing people out of buying a very vital insurance product that they need. And I'm committed to working with the federal delegation to make sure that we do what we can to bring change to that and bring that pricing down.